What has your experience been like raising capital as a creator founder? Do they see you as like a risk, a moat? Do they see it as both?
That's a good question. I think they see the opportunity of the distribution. When you just say, hey, I'm a content creator, I'm doing like something, I don't know if they're gonna take you seriously. The good thing is I have a background also in business, like an exit. So I get like, it gets more legit. But if I was just saying, oh, I have a lot of people on social media, I'm doing an app, that's gonna open the door and maybe like start a conversation, but it's not enough. They need you to like know what you're doing.
Welcome to the Outstart VC podcast, the show where we break down how celebrities and creators build billion-dollar brands. In today's episode, I'm joined by Guez, an entrepreneur who began creating content while still building his previous company and went on to grow an audience of more than 800,000 followers across social media. After posting a video of himself singing in French with English subtitles, Ben uncovered a new way people actually learn languages. That moment ultimately led to the founding of Canary, a new app that helps users learn languages through the songs they already love. We talk about what inspired Ben to start creating content, how content became the insight engine behind Canary, and how he's thinking about disrupting the language learning app market by combining music, community, and creator-led distribution. So without further ado, let's get to the conversation. Ben, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Scott.
It's interesting because normally I talk to a lot of content creators who have been a content creator first and later on they actually became an entrepreneur. You're actually the opposite. You have been building companies for the last 15 years. You even had an exit, and after your exit, you decided to become a content creator. So what initially inspired you to start creating content?
Actually, I started before my exit. It was during COVID, and I was bored, like everyone else. You know, I closed my office. We were working like remote, and I started doing like some TikTok first because I was a little bit ashamed to do Instagram because my family and friends, on Instagram. So I did TikTok, and it was doing well. And then I changed my mindset, and I was like, okay, let's do also Instagram. Who cares? And then after my exit, I spent more time on it. So that's where like you really grew and blew up.
Yeah, very interesting. What type of content did you initially create and how has that evolved over time?
So first it was just like stupid trend that everyone does, but then it became a little bit more personal. Like I was talking about like being French in the US, like dating in the US, like things I know and people can relate to. And that's when like I got like better engagement because it was more like personal.
Yeah. And when you started with content creation, you said that you started because you were a little bit bored during COVID, but did you always think that potentially you could eventually build your own audience and leverage that to build your own company on top of it? Or was that not at the roadmap at all?
No, it was not. It was just to have fun, like first. And still now it's kind of like the main reason why I do content is to have fun. So, but I'm always like thinking about business, like I'm an entrepreneur. So when I started getting an audience and followers, I was thinking about like things I can do. So I even launched a book on Amazon to learn French, and I did like a retreat last year, like selling week in Greece. And then I thought about the app like Canary that I'm doing right now.
Yeah, so let's talk about Canary. So you posted like a TikTok of you singing in French with English translations, which eventually sparked the idea of Canary after you saw like a very high engagement and great comments. So can you take us back to that initial video? What was it? What type of things did you notice from it? And how did that eventually turn into Canary?
So yeah, I just like posted like a video of me singing in French with the lyrics and the translation. It's not about like the views because I get like video with like 26 million views, but it was mostly about the engagement and mostly about the ratio between the followers and the views. So usually I get maybe like 5 followers for 1,000 views. And on this one, I was getting five top followers for like 300 views. So it was like 3 times better. And I was like, okay, maybe there's something, maybe that's people like they want to see this content. So what I did is I created a page just for that. And it was also like growing very fast, like faster than my personal page. So I got like 100,000 followers in like 5 months. So it was like, okay, that's like a social proof for me. And I'm like, okay, let's do maybe something. Like, let's make an app, let's make an MVP so I can see if it's something that people want to use,
Yeah, it's so interesting. So like there's obviously already many language learning apps on the market. So what do you think is broken about most of them and what kind of problem does Canary solve?
So first of all, the Canary is more like a supplement. I'm not going to say that you're going to be fluent like in French or Spanish just using like music. But I do think there's a lot of app, and let's talk about the elephant in the room, like the owl in the room. Duolingo is the king, and I don't want to say bad things about Duolingo, but is great for gamification. It's like super sticky. You want to come back, you want to do your streak and all these things. But every time I speak to someone in the US that say, and I'm like, oh, I'm French, and they're like, oh, I'm in 200 days streak on Duolingo. And I say, okay, tell me something in French. And they freeze. They don't say anything. And the only thing they're going to say is like, voulez-vous coucher avec moi? And that's like a lyrics of the song, you know? And so for me, it was like, and I try also Duolingo myself, like Spanish, and I didn't progress because again, it's like gamification, but it's not sticky enough to remember the sentence you're going to learn. And also there is a lack for me of like practice and social practice. So that's why in Canary, I want to like people to learn with music because I believe in that. And even it's like science proven, but also like practice with people. So you can practice with someone that's going to speak your language or learn the same language that you're learning.
Yeah, I think it's super interesting also because like through Duolingo or any other like language school, you also learn the traditional way on how they speak the language. But that is not how people actually speak the language. And through music, you understand slang and you understand culture and that type of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You understand the slang that you're not going to learn in Duolingo for sure.
So practically, how does Canary exactly work for me as a user who, for example, wants to learn a new language?
It's pretty like easy. You go to Canary, you're going to see like a bunch of like, let's say you're learning French, you're going to see a bunch of like French songs. Every week there's new ones. You can also search for any songs. And you're going to see the lyrics, you're going to see the translation. You're going to be able to like save any words of the song into like a vocabulary tab. You're going to be able to do a quiz. So you're going to quiz yourself. You can do a karaoke, so you can practice. It's important to practice the pronunciation. And people that learn with music also have a better pronunciation. Not like me, a very big French accent. And we also have the social part of it where you can also meet people that either like, as I said, like speak the language or learn the language. And we're building like new things like grammar, for example. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and what type of languages are currently most popular using on the app, or what type of songs? I would be very curious.
It's mostly French. French is number 1, Spanish number 2, Italian is number 3. But I only have 5 languages right now, and we also have German and English. I mean, it makes sense because I started with my page, and I also like started with like French songs on Canary page. So it makes sense. Most of the users they want to learn French. So there's 2 types of music that really get like a lot of engagement of song. Is the one that are super famous and people they remember and they want to learn the lyrics. The people are the one that's slow and easy to learn, so they can really learn from it.
Yeah, I see this myself. Like I was actually doing karaoke 2 weeks ago and the song Despacito came up and literally everyone knows that song because it's so popular, but people are singing it even though they can't understand Spanish, but they kind of want to know what they're singing, right?
Exactly. That's we put this one on Canary. It's a good one.
Yeah. And what is the business model of Canary?
For now, it's just a simple like freemium premium. So if you're free, you can still have access to some video. But if you're premium, you have like unlimited access, unlimited like quiz and karaoke practice. I want to introduce later the content creator angle because I also believe that creators, they can like post their own like cover and you can learn from it and they can make money. Like we're going to do like a rev share. But also when someone message you, you can also like make some money. So like kind of like a Patreon model.
Yeah, and have you already onboarded like any creators for that? And also what type of creators are that? Are that more lifestyle creators like yourself that speak like a language, or can that also be like language content creators?
It's going to be mostly either like musician or like artist that can like upload like a cover song, or like teacher or language learner like creators. Not really myself, but there's like a couple on social media where you can learn from a video. And we have a bunch. The feature is not live yet, so we are like, it's actually live, but not on the app. It's on test flight. But as soon as it's live, yeah, I'm like, we have a bunch of creators who are already like to give them access to these features. Okay, we can try this angle for them to make money, from this content. Because right now, like on TikTok, on Instagram, it's not the monetization for creators. It's like, especially for people that do cover song, it's not the best. So for me, I'm trying to see if I can like make them more money than what they're making on TikTok or Instagram.
It's so funny because like if you think about the history of TikTok, it obviously came from Musical.ly. And you're kind of actually going back to that original kind of how it actually was initiated, the whole version of TikTok.
Sure. So
yeah.
Back.
Yeah. And like with those creators, can those creators also partner up? Like I think what's really interesting about this is that typically creators that speak different languages, they don't really partner up or do content together or whatsoever. But I think now if there's like a German speaking content creator and a French speaking content creator, maybe they can partner up in such a way and expose each other's content to new audiences, which has never been done before.
Yeah, that's a very interesting angle. I didn't think it like this way, but I like it. One feature I want to do in the future is like a duet kind of feature where you can also duet a song with someone else. It can be like 2 content creators that duet like a song together, and can be like one part in German, one part in English, and and they can post it together. So it's like a collab, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that is super interesting. And that is something that creators also need because they need to get exposure to other audiences as well that they typically can't reach.
Very true.
Yeah. So like what is really interesting about you is like I follow you on LinkedIn. You are building this in public, which has been really interesting. So I recommend any listener also to follow you on LinkedIn. And yeah, you're building this in public, as I mentioned. So can you tell maybe a little bit more about where you are currently at in terms of like the product and the traction?
So the MVP has been like for 3 months. I didn't do like any paid ads or anything, so it's mostly organic. We have like 6,000 users. I launched monetization just a month ago, and we are like $4,000 like AR after a month. So it's a good signal for me. In terms of team, it's pretty small team. I have 2 developers and 1 community manager right now.
Yeah. And what has been most surprising in the whole like launching of the MVP for you?
Actually, it's my first mobile app, so I have like a bunch of like I had like a couple of different businesses before, like a SaaS, even in fintech and an agency. But it's my first mobile app, and I just love it. Like it's such a different kind of game. It's so fun to see all the traction. You go on Google Analytics, go on Revenue Cat, and you see like the MR, yeah, and a little like tweak that you make is gonna make like a big change on your retention, on your metrics like D7 or little notification or little tweak on onboarding. So all these things that I'm learning now, but I also talk to a lot of people that did mobile app. It's a lot of fun. I love it.
Yeah, and you're obviously taking a very data-driven approach there, where you look at all the numbers and think about tweaks, how you can actually optimize the engagement and that type of stuff. And I think like I talk to a lot of content creators who are really focused on the content creation itself, and they have never launched their own companies or whatsoever. So do you think that you have an advantage over other content creators building a tech product?
I come from tech, so yeah, I have an advantage of like knowing a little bit about like all these things, and I've been like also in marketing all my life. So for me, like doing A/B testing when I do like paid ads, it's something I will do for Canary as well, for content, or A/B test what kind of caption, what kind of content, what kind of format. So everything that I learned for business, I can replicate for.
Yeah, and you see that a lot of other creators, like I would say, they're obviously now launching their own companies. And I would say that 98% of them are launching CPG brands over tech companies. Why do you think that's the case? Why do you think that a lot of creators are actually gravitating towards CPG over tech?
I think it's easier for them to just think, okay, I have an audience and I can really like just launch a product and people are going to buy it. I do think it makes sense sometimes. For me, for example, if I was doing it, I don't know what kind of product I will do, like maybe a croissant or like a champagne. For me, it was never like really what I wanted to do, because I have like this tech mindset. I have like this mindset of saying, okay, I should be ashamed of my MVP. And when you do these kind of things, you can do it with product. I can just launch a champagne brand and it's going to be bad at first, and then I'm going to get feedback and I'm going to change it. You just have one chance, with your product. And that's kind of what happened with like MrBeast, with the burger. Apparently the quality was not amazing. For me, tech is like, with my personality and my mindset of just going fast, and like I don't have the patience to wait and spend a lot of time and money on making a product and then launch it. I just want to like have like a little thing, I get feedback, and then I improve it.
Yeah. And with the rise of like AI and companies like Loveable that actually make it easier to nowadays launch tech companies or mobile apps or whatsoever, do you think we're going to see a rise of like creators now going to launch tech companies over CPG?
Yeah, 100%. As you said, like AI is going to have like a big impact on this. It's going to be easy to create like a tech product. And because I think that with all the product launch, I think with the data we're seeing right now, is that there's a big hype at first, but then after like, okay, I try it, but then I don't know if the sales really going high. Like I think there's a decline, like Prime, for example. So I think the creators and celebrities, they're going to understand that there's a different way than just product, and it's like tech, and you can really scale like big,
Yeah. Are there any creative entrepreneurs or creative founded companies that you take inspiration from?
I mean, I have like some influencer, what is his name? The brother of Prime.
Jake Paul?
Jake Paul is, I mean, it's not really his company, but he did a pretty good investment on like some cool company like the AI, the video AI app, and in terms of marketing, so that's like something I look at, because like he does really good in terms of like viral marketing. But yeah, I don't have like a really a lot of celebrity of like creators. I'm like, oh, that's pretty great what they're doing now.
Yeah, I think we're just very early. Like we kind of saw the first wave where a lot of them were launching some of the companies behind me, like a liquor brand, an apparel company, a skincare brand. And I believe that we're now going to enter a second wave where a lot of them are going to launch innovative products and services that solve actual customer problems and where they also have a certain edge around product, IP, science, or even technology, with Canary being a great example. So I do believe that going forward, we're going to see a lot more interesting tech companies being founded by creators like yourself.
No, I agree. I think it's going to be more and more, especially with AI, it's going to be something else.
Yeah. You also posted on LinkedIn that you're like actively angel investing and that you're looking for companies to make an investment in, but also actually leverage your own audience to promote those companies. I wonder, did anything come out of it, or are you looking at any interesting AI companies that you can do equity deals with?
Yeah, actually, I spoke to a couple. There's a lot of AI companies, so it's hard really to know like which one are just white label a solution already or like doing something like very unique. I'm like almost like a pretty longer conversation with someone that does like calls for SMBs and is getting like good traction, good revenues. But that is very cool. Like there is some very cool concept. I love it. I mean, there is AI even in Canary because every startup use AI right now. So it makes sense to use it. But I want to keep like learning and maybe do some digital investing on some cool one. But also it's really hard because everyone does AI and again, you never know if it's really like it's them doing it or it's so easy right now to white label a solution existing and then like just do it, launch it, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's go back to Canary for a second. So, talking about what is the future of the app, like, are there specific features or products that you want to develop next or in the near future?
Yeah, there's a couple. I really want to like so my two big like angle is like learning and social. So in terms of learning, I really want to push on like making sure there is like a good way to progress. I want them to see like their progress and like their evolution. So we're gonna add like more grammar. We're gonna also like need to train AI because we're using AI to create the quiz from the song. So we need to train AI to make the perfect like quiz. We want to also add like feedback, AI feedback on the pronunciation of when you sing. It's really there is some like other solution that does that with like pronunciation, but our challenge is when they sing. So it's even a little bit like harder, but we're gonna find a way. And then on the social angle, I also want to have like more creators, of course, and have like this duet feature where you can duet with like different people. So you sing a song together, and at the same time you learn about the song. I think it's gonna be a cool one. And it's a good start.
Yeah. And in this MVP phase, you have been really like focusing on, and in the 0 to 1 phase, you've been really focusing on leveraging your own audience to get to that 6K users.
Yeah.
What would be your go-to-market strategy beyond your own socials?
Yeah. So I leverage my audience. I leverage like Canary audience because I also created a page and it's like now 170,000 followers, but it was mostly organic. What I want to do is paid ads. I tried just to see an experiment. I was starting very high, like $12 an install, but then I optimized to 50 cents an install. So I know that I can scale like because I'm thinking about raising like pre-seed. So when I'm gonna raise, it's gonna be mostly also like on paid ads, and then all the other like PR. I didn't do any PR, but PR also is very important when you're doing like an app, so press release. And but that's gonna be my main like marketing channel: TikTok ads, social ads, and SEO with like PR and things like this. But keep like doing like content creation. And when I do organic, it's not just organic on our page; it's also UGC because UGC is really big. But using the content of the UGC for ads. So that's kind of like the funnel you're doing. You know, you're trying on organic, you see if there's traction, and the one that's really have like the best traction, you see it on social ads.
Yeah, and I think also for UGC content creators, this is such a fun type of content to create. Like normally they have to promote like a makeup brand and you kind of have to be a little bit fake, right? Because you need to start selling, oh, this is so amazing, and you probably don't even use it yourself. But with your app, like a lot of people love singing, a lot of people love musicals, theater. So I expect that a lot of people are just also going to do it for the love of it, not even thinking about like, oh, we can actually turn this into a revenue generation opportunity.
Yeah, no, right. It's like, it's a passion. Music is a passion, you know? So, and so many people tell me like, wow, I'm learning actually with music. That's the way I learn like Spanish with music. So I really want people to just like have fun, like sing and tag us. So it's gonna be like just organic, even like unpaid marketing for us, you know?
Yeah. Have you thought about onboarding like large artists as kind of like equity holders? Like I know that Shakira, I think she speaks about like 11 languages. So have you thought about like onboarding like influential people in the singing or language learning space to come on board as equity partners or whatsoever?
I thought about it. I didn't do any action on it because I was like kind of first like wanted to make sure that we have like a good product. And
Right.
but I wanted to do it. I wanted to reach out also to the Chainsmoker VC. They have a good fund, so it would be like maybe a strategic partner. But yeah, artists and give them equity. I thought about it, and I think it's a great idea. I think I should do it, and maybe Shakira could be a good option.
She would not be a bad fit at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, you talked about like raising a pre-seed round, and you have been talking already to a couple of investors. So what has your experience been like raising capital as a creative founder? Do they see you as like a risk, a moat? Do they see it as both?
That's a good question. I think they see the opportunity of the distribution. When you just say, hey, I'm a content creator, I'm doing like something, I don't know if they're going to take you seriously. The good thing is I have a background also in business, or like an exit. So I get like, it gets more legit. But if I was just saying, oh, I have a lot of people on social media, I'm doing an app, that's going to open the door and maybe like start a conversation, but it's not enough. They need you to like know what you're doing and like have a deck and like maybe have a CTO also, or like having like some advisor, because just content creators. And even if you have the distribution, you still need the team, you know, the distribution is not enough to make like a good company.
Yeah, we always say is that the best creator or celebrity brands are always product first and never celebrity first. And it has to do with that the celebrity might help you sell the first product, but the quality of the product is going to determine if people are going to buy it the second, third, and fourth time. And then also like it's great that you have a large celebrity on board, but that person is not going to be operating the brand on a daily basis and answering the emails and sitting in supply chain meetings. So you need a great team of operators actually to launch these companies alongside you.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Yeah. What do you think is the biggest misconception that people still have about creators launching their own brands?
I feel like people think that creators just gonna like do a product because they have an audience. There's not really like the product market fit, or like the product doesn't make sense. It's just like, oh, I have like 800,000 followers. I need to sell them something, so I'm gonna do this. The reality is like, it's not gonna work if you don't provide value, or if you're launching like something that's really like passionate about, and you're gonna like spend so much time, because it's hard. Like maybe I have like a lot of people following me, but it's still really hard to get them to download the app, to pay for the app, to stay, and the retention, all this part. So it's not that easy. Like so many followers, I'm gonna just like make $1 million. You know, you have to have like a good product, a good idea, a good product, and like keep pushing. You know, so.
Yeah, it's funny because sometimes I get like sent a deck and this person has like 20 million followers and they make this calculation like, okay, if 5% of the 20 million people are going to convert, we're going to be multimillionaires. And I'm like, that's not how this works. You don't know if these people are actually a target audience and they're going to buy and that type of stuff. So yeah, I've seen creators with 500K followers outsell creators with 100 million followers just because of these reasons.
Yeah, it's all about the product at the end of the day. It's not about the audience.
Yeah. So at the beginning, and this is kind of my final question. So at the beginning, I already told you that you are an entrepreneur first, that kind of became a content creator second. What would be your number one piece of advice for other entrepreneurs who are also thinking about becoming a content creator?
Just choose what you've been learning as like an entrepreneur or like a business owner, and replicate for content creation. Me, again, it was about marketing. It was A/B testing. So I knew that I had to like A/B test a lot of content to know which one is gonna be sticky and where I'm gonna find my audience. Like when you're a business owner, you also have to find your target, your niche, and same for content creators. So use all this learning, all this like knowledge.
Yeah, I love that advice. Well, Ben, where can people find you?
Instagram, Ben Guez, and LinkedIn, and that's pretty much it. And Canary, you can chat with me on Canary.
Perfect. I will make sure to put all those links below. Ben, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Scott, for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Hot Start VC podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe and leave a rating or review. It really helps us grow. You can also subscribe to our newsletter at hotstart.vc for more breakdowns on how celebrities and creators build billion-dollar brands. Thanks again for tuning in, and we will see you in the next episode.